and then share the screen. Yeah. Shit. Right, let's start the class. Right, let's go back and fix a little bit of our code here in order to make full usage of Mongoose. Because I said earlier, Mongoose have the built-in validator, right? That's the power of Mongoose. So let's use it. So instead of having this line here, which is doesn't make any sense, if we use Mongoose, we can delete them. Right, delete it, and yeah, just save it. And in here, instead of doing name equal a string, we can do name equal an object. Inside the object, we have a couple of fields. The first one is going to be type, not string here, not this string, the special string, I guess. Okay, another field is what was it? Require. I don't remember all of these. Sorry. All right, it's gonna be require. Sorry, it's gonna be require, and require can be a boolean or it can be an array as well. If you use an array, you can use true, it means require, and the second element is going to be the error message, right? So uh, 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 name, author name is required, right? Right. Next, it's going to be trim. We want to trim it. Trim equal to, like we want to make the qua here to this qua. We don't want the space like this. So trim will do that. And what next? Do we want it to be unique? No, I don't think so, right? We can have the same author with the same name. Yeah, just keep it simple. Don't make it unique. All right, I'm gonna save this. All right, let's go back and yeah, I think this one is okay. Yes, everything is okay. All right, let's try to create a new author without a name at all. I'm not going to send anything, right? Click on none. I'm gonna move the video here. So I'm gonna move all your faces over the other screen, and let's send it. All right, you should see an error, and the error is author validation failed because name is failed on this field, on the field name, and the message is author name is required. So that's good. We don't have to do that extra line at all. And the error is 500. What? Internal server error? That should be 400 though. So this one is hard. We need to look at inside. We need to look inside our. Oh yeah, because I put 500 here. Just change to 400. If you're not sure what to do, just put it 400, right? Because in here we have two different cases, two different situations. It could be some error that related to our code. It could be the error that the user doesn't provide the exact input. So right now we haven't learned how to handle those kind of error yet. So just say put in 400. Yeah, just blame everything to the user. Yes, blame the client. Just blame the client. You don't provide the correct input, so that's your fault. Right, let's move on to milestone. Actually, I had to do a recap on milestone 3 as well. So right now, if you take a look at the app.js, we have the function, the whole function inside our app.js. Right? It's going to be getting longer and longer and longer if we have more routes like this. So there's a way to move all of these to the other files by we're going to create a new folder called these functions are actually controller, right? So I'm going to call it controller. Controller, right? We are called controller. Inside controller, I'm going to create a file called author controller, right? Yeah, .js. In author controller, I'm going to copy everything here. Copy. Oh shit, not there. This, right? And let's remove the comma here first. copy everything and paste it in here. I'm gonna export. What do I want to export? I want to export export the name of the function that we're gonna call in app.js. I'm gonna call this function is create author, right? Create author equal to this, right? So just copy and paste and give it a name, right? Cool. I want to see other people's face as well. I want to see all you guys' face. It's very hard to tell without the faces. I don't know if you are following or not, right? Show me your faces, please, so I know if you're confused or not. It really helps if I can see your face. Right, so I'm gonna move everything in here. You know we are confused. I don't know if I don't see your face. I don't even know if you're listening or not without seeing your faces. So here we create a function so we can use it inside our app.js. And this function, I'm gonna call it create authors, right? There are two ways to export something. You can do module export equal to an object. Inside the object, we will have create author here, right? And we will have more functions later, but right now we only have create error, so you can skip this part. Same thing. Or you can do export here. It's much simpler. And then in here, I'm gonna call oh, I forgot this slide as well. We need to import author as well because we try to use author in here. So author will start from this folder, which is controller, and controller has to go up one level, and we insert, and insert we have to go to model, so we don't need this. Right, save. And then in app.js, we will import what? We will import create author, right? Create author here equal to require somewhere we need to look at the folder controllers. Are we inside sort? Not yet. Sort and controllers, like that. And inside controller, we need to target the files called author controller. Okay. So this one way of importing, and then you can call this function right here. Where the hell is it? Here. All right. That's it. So you can make your app.js look cleaner, right? Cool. All right. What happened here? Let's try and see if it still works. Let's go back and test it with Postman. I'm going to create another author. Pt2, for example. Oh, send it. All right, successful. Cool, everything still work. So that's how we move the function into separate files. That's milestone 3. Right, let's move on to next step. And what was it? I forgot what we were trying to do here. Update and delete an author, for example, update and delete an author. So we know how to create one. So now we need to update. It's pretty simple. Now you can do router dot put, and then we have the same thing here, and then we will have a controller called updating author, something like that, right? You will end up repeating a lot of these author, and I don't want to do that, so I have another way to do it. Pause dot route, and the inside route here we have author, same, but after that we have pause, and inside pause here we don't need that, just like this, similar. Cool. So now we can use dot put. For example, we can use dot put. Input, we're gonna have update author, and let's see if it works. And we will have to import it here, update author, and inside the author controller we have to define the function as well. Export dot update author equal to async request response, and then the body just say return response dot JSON, and then we have the titles okay, status okay, and data is gonna be because we're just trying to test, we will return name, and then we have to cons requestable name, right? Nothing. We just I'm trying to return something for you. I have to save it, right? So let's test the route here. The put method, put authors. Let's go to Postman. I'm gonna create a new request here. Add a new request, and this one is gonna put. No, let's call it update author. Save it, and here update author is gonna be a put request. For example, put request, and then here we're gonna use this environment URL, and then same things author, same content, raw JSON, and name, then hello world, something stupid. Let's send it. What happened? All right, we actually received the data as well. So that means this way also work, and we actually save a couple of typing time. And actually, I think it's very good if you can group everything into one browse like this, and then you have a different methods. It makes more sense. So there are a couple of ways to code. It depends on what you want to do. Next is we want to update and delete an author. I think deleting is easier. So let's go with delete first. Delete, and I'm gonna call this one delete author. All right, delete author. We have to import it. Delete author. Save. In here, I'm gonna copy and paste to lazy, and I'm gonna change this one to delete author. Okay. So now we want to delete. Everything is fine, and we want to delete. And this is syntax for delete. We will try and catch, right? Always remember to use try and catch for async. Here I'm just gonna copy and paste this one here, right? And what do we want to try? We want to try to remove the user out of the collections. So I'm gonna do await, and the author is the model that we are working on. The author, we want to remove the this name from the collection author, right? So author dot file, we have a method called file by ID and delete here. All right, so what's the difference between file ID and the remove? So why do we have another method called remove and delete? Usually I'm going to use delete here. And in here, we're going to pass in the ID. So as you can see here, there's a instruction how to use it. File ID, and yes, so we want to put in the ID like this, right? As you can see here in the snippet, in the instruction, right? We're gonna have an option, the first argument, and then we have ID equal to what? We don't use name here anymore. We want to use ID, request body ID. No, it's not name because name is not unique. We cannot delete people based on the name. We want to delete people based on the ID because ID is unique. So I'm gonna put ID here. right? And we have another options, another argument. This argument is an option. We basically it will do everything that we tell us. We tell it. For example, actually I don't remember. Let's go to documentation of Mongoose. My God, Mongoose actually have their own documentation. Then there's a lot in there. That's a lot. So you go to Mongoose and you want to find by ID and delete. Oh my God. All right. So we have an API called model.findById and delete. Click on it. It will take you to the instruction here. You have three arguments. You have the ID, or you have find by ID. So you have the ID. It can be a string. So find by ID. Find by ID, you just pass in the ID. You don't have to pass in the object and ID equal ID like this. This one is for file one and delete. So I make a mistake here. I go back and use the ID only. Just put in the ID. Yes, so simple. Much simpler. And also the second element is the options. So we want to. So why don't they show all the options? So there's no option actually. Oh, there is. There's no other option, so you can just do it like that. Find by ID and delete. That's it. You don't have to use other option because the option are not something that we use. And then if you read the documentation here, there's a callback function. Like if you don't use async and away, you will use callback function like .then and .catch. So now we don't use the old syntax. We use await and async and await. So we don't need the callback function. Just use await here. That means okay, await until our database finish the method here, find the ID and delete it. And then we execute the next line. We're gonna return response status okay, data is no, right? And I think we need the status cost here. What should be? What should the number here is? Be Bảo. Shit, Hưng Chao answer is 204, correct? And you're so fast. 204. Okay. So questions. Daniel had a question. Wait, what is the different? Delete or what? What's the different? Why do we use 204? Because we delete something and we don't return anything, right? We delete a user another and we don't, like the user doesn't expect we return any data. Yes, remove and delete. Is there any difference between remove and delete? Right. This find by ID and delete will issue. This is the underlying method from MongoDB that Mongoose will use. Right. It will find one and delete. And this is from find one and remove. Issue Mongo find and modify remove command. If you find by ID and remove is equivalent to find one remove. Finding a matching document, remove it. Passing the file document. Oh, all right. So delete mean we just delete everything and we do nothing. All right, we do nothing. Remove is actually remove it from the database, and we actually have that that entity as a variable. So we can use something called, for example, cons author equal to author.find by ID and remove, and the author is the one that we remove from the database. But it doesn't work like that in delete. Delete doesn't return anything for us. Remove actually return the element that we remove from the collections. So delete is no, delete is actually just delete. So these two also, they all delete everything. They all delete everything, but delete method doesn't return you something, right? But remove method will give you the element that the document that we delete, we remove, right? So that's the only difference, I think. Yeah, based on the document here. Okay, and remove actually has more options. So it depends on your like purpose. You will choose one. I read the document. Yeah. So there's something you read it here. Read it here. All right. Let's see if it works. And delete author and remove. Wait. We can test it because we all right. We don't have the route to read on the author in order to see the IDs. So I'm gonna make that route right now. It's so simple as well. I'm gonna export dot read author. I mean this route is to this handler is to display all the authors that are inside our database. So we have request, response, as well as a function, right? So this one is very simple. Just to const authors equal to await what await what await author dot find. We find everyone. We show everyone, right? And then we return. I'm gonna return respond dot status 200. We actually don't have to mention 200. It's by default 200. JSON and status. It's okay. And data is going to be an array here. So yes, return by very simple this route. Cool. And I'm going to make it as a route. This is a controller. I'm going to make this as a route here. We have pause, put, delete, but we haven't got the get. So we have get, and it's going to be read author. And I'm going to import it here as well. Right. So why do I have to use this name? So basically we are trying to operate the CRUD, the CRUD operations, which is create, read, update, and delete. So that's why we need for a name it's like this, right? Okay, we have 4 methods, and the pause works, the get works, and the delete works. I guess, I hope so. Let's try it. Create a new request here, and let's call it get author. Yeah, get authors, and I'm going to save it. And this one is a get request, and just like that. Right here, we have to use URL. Sorry, an author here. Very simple. And I'm going to send a request. I expect to see all the authors with Vita, Hunta, and me. Wow. Right. So now we have the ID. Let's say I'm going to remove myself from the list here, from the collection here. I'm going to copy the ID here, copy it. Oh shit. Copy it, and then open the delete author here. URL and author, right? Delete method. And I want to delete the ID. Oh shit. You can put the ID in here, or you can send it inside the body. So depend on your structure, on your application, you want to do it. But right now I want to use the ID. So right now I have a question here. Can I use something like this, and then ID here? Let's say if it works, I put the ID. The ID here is the author. Something wrong. Require callback function. All right, it's a callback function, but right now I have the argument here, so it doesn't work. I think I can get another route here, but let's go back to this later. Let's say here, where am I? Let's say here, we have the ID inside the body, right? And we pass it here. So I'm going to call it, I'm going to pass it here. an object, and the ID, change this one to JSON, and ID is string. Oh my god, no. Here, let's see if it works. I can remove this one. Author, delete, send it. All right, 204 means we successfully deleted. How do we check? Just go back and look at the get route, call it again. So now file is gone. Cool. So how do we make it work like this? I want to have author and then slash ID instead of put it in the JSON. Haha. I want to use ID here. So let's go back and change. Yeah, it's inside the query, but we need to specify it, or else it will not fall into this route. I forgot the syntax, but you can do a different thing. For example, like this, and router dot route, and then you can have author like this. It still work, and you have the ID like this, and you can dot get here, and dot get you will have read author. There's another way to make it shorter. I just forgot the syntax. It happened a lot to me. All right, so you make a new route handler, which will take in the ID here, and we will get the author. In here, what was it? Oh, it's not get. It's delete. Oh shit. So sorry. All right. It's delete. I'm sorry. It's gonna be router dot route, and we have authors here, and then we have ID, comma, delete author. It's right? Right. We can do, oh shit, this one is gonna delete. We can do something like this. This works as well. Yeah, let's test it. We have ID, and here we need to change a little bit. It's not from the body, it's from the query. No, params, sorry, params. To do that, let's say console log request params, right? See what happened. What's inside the params here? Scroll down, there's nothing wrong with my code, and let's run it. Go back to Postman. Shit. We need to let's create a new one, new person. Khoa again. Hello. Create a new Khoa, and here you can get request. You should see Khoa again, and I'm gonna remove Khoa. And now I want to put it in here instead of inside the body. I want to put it in the query string. Right, still work. Yay. No contain. Oh, and we actually can read it here. Request params. These are params. It's not query. Query is behind the question mark, right? And param is this. And we define the name of the params like this. It's the same as your React router, right? It looks so similar to your React router. There's no difference at all. So that's how you call a params. And so that's pretty much it. Remove that line, and that we successfully delete. Okay, now go back and do the update stuff. Update. All right, just stop me anytime you want. I cannot see your faces. I can only see like General. He keep nodding like this. I think he get it, and just I will move on. Right, man. Next, we want to update the author. The reason I did it, I did the delete author first because it's easier to do. And now we're gonna copy everything. I'm gonna copy everything. I'm gonna copy everything. Copy, and I'm gonna paste it here. Paste it here. I'm not gonna execute it. We need to change something here as well, and say let's say put here. and change this one to put request, and this one gonna be update author. So basically we need these two routes to have the ID, to understand the ID here. So I'm gonna copy it down and change the name, put, and the controller. So I'm gonna save this back to our update author. In here, instead of doing file by ID and update and delete, we will use file by ID and update. Bam. And when we update, the user, the client, expect to see the updated value, right? The user expect to see the updated value. So I'm gonna call this one author equal to await and file by ID and update using the ID, and we will have a second element which is I forgot again. Let's go to the documentation, read it. File by ID and update. File by ID and update, shut it. You will see the result here. File by ID and update. The second argument is going to be the value that you want to update. It's very similar to your MongoDB syntax. So this is where you want to update. I want to update the name, right? And the new name, how do I get a new name? How do I get a new name? I need someone to answer that. No, we already have the ID there. We need a new name. Like I want to change the name. I want to change, for example, I want to change Bitna to Kim Bitna Kim. So for example, so what do we need? Sang Nguyễn. What are the required data that we need in order to perform this task? I want to change Bitna to Bitna Kim. Sang, are you there? Sang Nguyễn. Bảo, answer it. Yeah, kind of. Yes, Bảo. Hello, Sang. You're not here again. Hello? Right. Okay. Wow. So Bảo answered it already. So you will have the body, and that body will have the properties name. So basically, you want to update author, and you need the name inside the body. Go back to our code. You need to define that as well. Or you can just simply call request dot body dot name. It's okay. It doesn't hurt. But what if there is no name here? The name is undefined or is no. Don't worry. The data validation, the Mongoose validation will handle that for us. We don't need to worry about that. So name is request.body.name, right? And the author here, we will return the author here instead of no. So author here we go into here. And also we want to have an option as well. I forgot. We need an option. So that body is the body part in Python. Yes, request.body. That's why they chose the name body. There must be a reason. That's why they chose the name body. And if you read the documentation here, you have the third argument is an options, right? This option, you have a couple of different options. You have the option new. New means like by default, this method will return the document as it was before the update. And we want to get the updated value. We want to get the updated version of that document. So we want to use new colon true. Let's do it. New colon true is an object as well. If you look at this object, right? Object. ID, if it was file one and update, it has to be an object here. But here is file by ID, so we just need ID. We don't have to use the object. and we need another object. And what was it? New colon true. New colon true. Right. So here we go. I expect the author here to become Kim, Victor Kim. Let's test it with Postman. I'm gonna get everything again. Like quiet is gone and midnight is here. I'm gonna copy the ID here and paste the ID here and change the name to Vidna, right? And send it. Oh shit! I haven't I haven't changed the started code at all, guys. If I use started code 204, it means the data is not we 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 don't return any data. Right? If you check it, it should be Binakim here. But because in the I do a lot of copy and paste, so it will check the response. We check express. We check if the status is 204 means there should be nothing here. If you stop reading, like it will stop right away. It will stop reading the next part. So we have to change something back. So it's either be 202 or 20 just 202 200 is okay. And I'm going to change Hưng Ta back to Hưng Nguyễn, for example. Let's try with Hưng Ta to Hưng Nguyễn. Oh, not delete. Put here Hưng Nguyễn. What's wrong? Hưng Nguyễn, right? Send it. Bam! We got the results, right? Hưng Ta become Hưng Nguyễn. So that's how we update the data using Mongoose. Shit. Right. Where am I? Oh yes. So that's it. Any question about this step? Time for questions. This is what's it, HighSierra. So using async and await, if there's something wrong during the process, right? JavaScript will automatically like catch error for us if we have a try and catch block in. We try and catch. So if there's anything wrong, JavaScript will generate an object, an error object for us, and inside the object, this error is a error object. It's kind of something like this. New error, right? Something, some message here. Remember something like this, and the error here is an object, and the object has a property called message. So message here will be some message here, right? So something like that. So that's how we try and cast. Then it return status for it. Yeah, if there's error, it will. It's kind of like if else here. If everything is fine, it will execute everything inside the try block. Else there's something wrong. It can be either on this line or on this line. It doesn't matter. If there's something wrong anywhere inside the block here, it will like catch the error and do something else. So here I want to send a message to a client. There's something wrong in my during the request. I don't know. I try to blame the client using for here, and we also need to show them the message as well, like saying what's wrong. Let's delete this. Any other questions? Actually, can you expand the router to put? I forget. All right. Router that puts is the method. You can use router, like you can have other routes inside, or you can use the syntax, the method router.method, and then you have the routes like this. So method.post means this route is only for method put. You cannot use the route for get at all. Let's see. It doesn't work for get. You will see a cannot get route. Let's say this one, and I'm gonna call this. Let's see what happened here. Like cannot get. It doesn't understand this route at all. Put, you actually modify your data. That's it. Oh no, it's modify your data, and it can also means like you generate new data on top of that, right? Okay, there's a little difference between put and part, but yeah, I'm gonna save all of these method. Save. So now you have your and here I'm gonna create a folder. Add a folder called author. So every route related to author will go into this folder. I'm gonna copy all of them. Oh shit! I have to copy, drag and drop one by one. All right, cool. So now we have the folder for author. So that's how you organize your routes. So like this. So this here, I have everything inside, not inside any folder. So that's why it looks so messy. So now you have author. Next step, you will do the genres by yourself, I suppose. Let me see. So I suppose you can do milestone 6 by yourself. Let me see that if there's any. Oh no. Oh shit, there's a relationship there. Right. But there's nothing different. Does anyone delete my code in here? Why does it look so short? There should be more code. Yeah, but let's go quickly over the genres. So now we need to define a new model for genres. Let's go to the model folder and create genres, genre.js, and then const mongoose. Why the hell is become mongoose? Equal to require, and we have mongoose here, right? And then we need to create the schema. You can call it schema here like this, or be more specific. Genre schema equal to, what was it? Shit. Schema. My memory is so bad. Schema, and there you have an option, an object. Inside the object, it's gonna be what? What was it? The name of the genre, or you can call it genre if you want, or you can call it name. Doesn't matter. Let's call it genre. And in here, it's gonna be type string. And what's next? Is it required? Yes, it is require. This one has to be an array. And the message genre name is required. What next? Dream. What else? I think unique is a must. Here, genre has to be unique. Unique. True. Right? What else? No, nothing else. So simple. And then let's const. What was it? Genre. Oh, spelling here is wrong. Genre equal to mongoose dot model, and here's the name of the model, and here's the schema. Genre schema. And now we export it. Module dot export equal to genre. So simple, nothing new. Close it. That's it. And let's copy and paste a couple of things in order to make a new genres. I like copy and paste. I'm gonna copy and paste create author here. I'm gonna create a new file called genre controller.js. In here, I'm gonna copy and paste. Oh, don't worry, I'm gonna copy and paste a lot of things. That's my own code. All right, so here I'm gonna change the author here, all the author here to genres. So I will change one by one, because when you copy and paste, you will like make a lot of mistakes. Genre is a model, and we get it from genre file. Genre here. Create. I don't want to create author. I want to create genre. Oh, copy and paste is a skill. You need to understand your code completely in order to copy and paste and use it correctly. So it's a skill. It's not something stupid. It's a skill. All right. So now it's not name. It's be genre, right? I don't want people to call it name. I want people, the client, to use genre. And this one is going to be in genres. And this one, it has to be a model called genre, right? And we create genre. This one's going to be genre as well. Return genre and respond, right? So copy and paste is skills. And I'm going to use this controller in my app. I'm going to router.route, and I'm going to call this one genre. Cool. What next? I'm going to pause. Inside the pause, I will have this function. And in order to use function, you have to like import it. Const here equal to require, and there's wow, oh man, it's so smart. All right, we have we import it and we use it. Great, genres. Let's see how it works. Oh shit, there's something wrong here. Can I find model? Shit, it's still so stupid. Genre controller. Oh, without S. Oh, I have the stupid one, not the top line. Right. So go back. Everything is fine, right? Everything is fine. And let's try to create a new genre. I'm gonna create a new folder. Add a new folder called genres. Inside the folder, I'm gonna add a new request, and this request is gonna be a pause method. Pause. No, create. Sorry, create genre. Save it, and I had to change the name here. It's not get author. It's create author. Sorry. Inside here we have a request, which is get. Oh shit. And double click on that. So it will open a new tab. Change this one to post. And we also need to use URL. And then we have post, no, genres, right? Go back to the code. Genres, yes, genres. And then the body, there must be something inside the body. And I'm gonna change on JSON. So what is it? What did I call it? If you follow me like closely, you should know the name here. What is the key? The only key that is required here. Yeah, genre. Nice. And it has to be a string. Genre. Right. Thank you. And I would say science. Oh my god. Science. Right. Genre is science. I'm gonna send it. Bam. So here's the error. Genre is not defined. So here's the error. I know where the error come from, right? Because we have a try and catch block. So during development stage, you should not use try and catch. If you use try and catch, you should return the whole message, not just an error message. If it's only about error message, I have no idea where the hell is the error coming from, right? I just know, right, genre is not defined, but I don't know which line. So now I have to go back and read all the code to see, wow. So genre is not defined. So I expect it should be inside the controller. Genre is not defined. What? 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 What the hell? Wait, genre is not defined. Okay, here I'm trying to call a genre. Here and here I actually defined. What the hell? If you look at the color, wait, it's string. What are you talking about? Oh, did am I? Genre here. Yeah. What are you talking about? Who said that? Kanle, what are you talking about? Genre type string, where is it? There are two genre bro. I don't know if that's right. Yeah, maybe. Oh shit. Oh, actually, I tried to redefine the genres. That's why I'm wrong. Where I'm wrong. Emily, thank you. Like I want to give you 100 points here. So I'm gonna try to say it differently. Or you can just remove this line. It looks so stupid. You can use request dot body, just genre shorter. Thank you, Emily. Right, let's try again. Send it. All right, successful. 201 created, and this is a new genres. As you can see, it's very simple. And let's create new genre. I'm gonna say this one is gonna be computer. Create love. Create. It should be Romans, right? Create and that's it. And let's have one more round to show on the genres. It's very simple. I'm gonna copy and paste more. Copy this and paste it here, and then change this one to read genre. I'm going to do this one real quick because it's similar genres. And this one's gonna be genre, and here it's gonna be genres. Right, I'm gonna copy this one. And I should name it Blue Rose because we want to see all the genres, not just one. Go back to the application, and I'm gonna have another route called get, and then I'm gonna call the function. In order to call it, I have to import it first, right? Simple as that. And go back to Postman. Take a look at it. I'm gonna uh, get authors. I'm gonna duplicate it, and I'm gonna copy it and paste it here. I'm so lazy. I change the name to get genres. Looks so very lazy. I'm gonna change this one to genres. Right. Oh, shit. Let's see what happened here. Oh, actually, we can see all the genres. Right. Works fine. Copy and paste. I'm gonna save everything. Save. All right. Next step. We're done with the genres. Building model for the genres. So here in the Mython, I actually explain a little bit about relationship. For example, right? For a book, if you want to create a book, you need to know that that book will have which genres, for example. And how do you do that? You just create. I expect to see if you take a look at my API here and take a look at all the books, read all the books here. And I'm going to change this one to Heroku. Set it. You should see all the books, and each book should have the list of genre inside. Oh, I got something so long. All right, here. All right, so here we have the books called JavaScript, title JavaScript, and this book will have the author, which is this ID and the name here is normal, and also have the genres array here. In this genre, we can have more than just one element, but for now we only have one. Okay, this is what we are gonna do. We will create a books collection. Inside that book collection, there will be documents, and each document should have a genre array, title, description. Let's not do description here. Let's focus on the title, genres, and author. Right? Genre, title, and author. So which means we finished milestone 6 somehow. And there's a transition. I think someone deleted my code there. Right. Let's create the books. I'm gonna demo the how to create the new books only, and you will have to finish the rest of the lab yourself. Man, I still when I look at the chart here, Emily is like pointed out right away exactly where I failed. So good. And all right, I'm gonna create a new controller called book. You want to take a break? I think I'm going too fast. But actually, these code are just repeating myself. So I think it's okay to go fast because I suppose you guys to do this on your own. So book controllers, and we also need a books model, right? So let's work on the book model first. We will have a cons mongoose. Oh my god, I hate this. We require mongoose, comma, and then cons. I'm gonna call it just schema equal to mongoose schema, and here we have a three things that we talk about: the title, the genres, and the author. So I'm gonna have title. It should be an object. Oh shit! It should be an object, and genres, an array, comma. Why is it? What's the last one? Boom, boom, boom. Title, genres, and author. Author without S. And author has to be. This one is a special author. My God, I have a code here, but someone remove it. I hate it. Oh, actually, it's in my song 7. All right, take a look. Title is type is string, normal, nothing new. So the new thing will be inside the genre and author, and we will focus on later. Is it required? Yes. And it's an array, and we will have a title is required. Is it unique? No, it doesn't have to be unique, right? So what else? Oh, theme. Theme is true. So basically, we want to work on theme a lot. Use theme a lot, and genres and author. Author is something special. If you take a look at this, go to the postman here. If you take a look at author here. It's basically is something that looks like how do you say? It looks like author here. Looks exactly like author here, right? So we want to have an object inside our author field, and here you can just name it object. It's okay. You can name it object. So for now, just go with object because we are using embedding technique approach. This one's an array. You can name it an array. There's special type array, just array and an object. That's it. Go with it. And cause how do you name it? Book equal to mongoose dot model, and here we have the name of books in the schema, and then you export it. Model dot export equal to book. All right. So here, before that, there's a debate whether we should name it the model with S or without S, right? Plural or singular. So my answer is I keep it singular. I keep just book, or keep it just author, or keep it just genre without S at all, or something like this. Don't use S. Don't use plural for model. Even though they are collections and collection is plural, but keep the name singular. All right, we export book and everything is fine. Let's say here's come the challenge. we want to create the book which have the authors, one author, an object, and an array of genres. In that array, we will have a couple of objects, right? Like this, we will have a couple of objects like this, right? So we don't just blindly. How do we get these objects and put it in the array? That's the question. So how do we get information here? If you look at how I did it here, I just create a new book, and what I did here, I just provide the ID, right? I create a new book, right? The title, description, and I provide the ID for author. I provide the ID for genres, same way. So in the behind the scene, you have to use the ID here to query who's that new author, and you also have to use these two IDs for genre to query all of those genres inside our database, and then we put it in the new book object before we save it to the database. So here's the proper step. Let's go one by one. I'm gonna copy, go back to the controller, book controller, and gonna cons. First, we need to import the model first. Require. Where do we import it? Again, we have to go up one level, and we have to go inside the model, and we have to select the book file. Right. So export the first function, export dot create book. So here's the challenge. Async function. Why do I use a different syntax? Okay. Request, respond, next. Maybe we have to use next. I don't know. Oh, no, we don't need. Right. So we need to get all the information. We need to get these two. So I'm gonna say cons. Okay, cons title. Title is where we define it here. We define. I'm gonna split it. Okay, let's close this one. We have title. We have genres. We have author. These are the three. The three. How do I say the three fields that is required? We have genres and we have author as well. Equal to request dot body. Right. Right. Next step. We want to use this author ID. So author here is an ID. If you take a look at my example here, author here is an ID, right? It's a string. It's an ID, and we use the ID. We will. Okay, for demo, I will do everything in one round, and then I will take it out to our model. Because everything that related to data should be inside the model, as we already learned, the MVC design pattern. Right? So everything related to data should be inside the model.
Bao nhiêu? 100 đúng.
Yeah. It should not be in the controller, but for now, let's do it inside the controller, and then we will move it to the model. You just need to understand the logic first, though. All right, so we will use something like we need to get the author. I'm gonna say this one author. Yeah, this one is author. It should not be author. It should be author ID. But let's real author cons. How do I say this one? Author object. That looks so stupid. But whatever author object, right? Equal to, how do I get it from the database? Do you remember the syntax? I got the ID. I want to query it from the database. Can anyone help me with that? Right. This one is new, so I'm not going to ask a lot, but let's do it. I'm gonna use the model called genre here, and also the author here. So let's go with author first. What? Wait. He's not even talking. Oh, what the hell? What? Genre, and we import it from genre file. Also, this one is going to be author from author file. Oh, so, yeah. Yes. All right. Right. I saw something from Daniel, exactly what I typed. Okay, so now we want to, let's say I don't want to return anything. I just want to console log it, but we have to return something, at least return response.json, so anything, just okay equal okay, so blindly return anything. And here I'm gonna say await author dot find by ID. So there's a method called find by ID. Basically, we just put the ID in there. So author here is in ID. I'm gonna put it there. Cool. And then what happened here? Let's say, yep. And then console log it. Author object. See what happened. Or you can even like return it, but doesn't matter. Let's say, do we have the create books yet? Here's a book demo. I don't have that folder. Yes, I'm gonna add the folder called books. And insert. Oh shit. Right in here, I'm gonna create a new request called create book. In create books, I'm gonna have a request called create books as well. Wait, I think I just did that. Sorry. All right, and here we go. We start from URL, and then books. In here, we need to pass in some information. Let's say JavaScript. I'm going to copy. It's an object. No, it's a JSON. And here we have a title. My first book ever. The author should be a string as well. Author. I'm gonna use the author from here. Let's send again to make sure that we are. Oh shit! It's not this one. I want to use the local environment. Use the local environment. We have Pt2. So Pt2 is gonna create a new book. Author is here. The ID, right? Let's see what happened. I'm gonna send, and we see the error. Yes, we haven't created the route for that. So go back to the app.js. I'm gonna copy the same app.js. I'm gonna down, and this one's gonna be what was it? Book controller. And here we have create book only. We create another route for books router dot route and books, right? After that, we have pause request. Inside the pause request, we are going to call this function create books. So go back to book controller. We have create books. Okay, let's call it. Let's run it. I'm going to send a request. All right, I received a response as expected. And let's see what is my console log here. Oh, we actually found Pt2, the author, using the ID. All right, cool. So now we can create. Now we want to find more, not just one. We want to find, for example, the genres as well. So I'm gonna say cons con genre objects genre array. Oh, that looks so stupid. Shit. I think we should name it like this, but let's go genre array. equal, oh, okay, general array equal to await and author. Oh, it's not author, it's genre. So here come the problem, guys. We cannot use find by ID for an array. It doesn't make sense, right? Find by ID is like, I mean, every element, every document has only one ID, and it should be different. Is it genre or genre? Yeah, genre. Sorry. Because we already defined genre up here, so we cannot use genre again. I ran into that problem and Emily pointed it out. So we need something different. So we can do a map here. We can do something like this. Genres map, because genre here is an array, right? In this array, we will have IDs. So I'm going to call it, let's not call it IDs, let's call it element. And we will do, actually we will do for each. For each is better. For each doesn't return an array. Map will return an array. But I think we do use map though. Sorry. We want to return an cause array, genre array. Shit. Genre array, and we want to return an array of, we want to return something like this, an array of object, right, from the database. So element here is an ID, and how do we find that? We copy the paste again. I'm going to copy and paste here, change this one to genre. The genre is the model. And in order to use a weight inside here, we have to use async. Yeah, that looks so weird, but yeah. So here you have L is an ID. And we have to use async inside this in order to get the correct document from the collection called genres. So here we have an array of these, and actually it's not execute. So this one is an array of promise. It's an array of promise. I don't know yet. So let's console log it. Console log genre genre array. Let's see what happened. Right. So here we need to pass in the array. Let's call it genres equal to an array of IDs. So we have, I will try with two IDs here. Let's go in. Yeah. This one hard. This part is hard. So I'm gonna choose. Okay, so with now kind of like love and romance. So I'm gonna put in love and romance here. So here is love and romance. So I have two IDs of genres, and I'm gonna send the request. Right. So as you can see here, we receive promise, right? So promise people right now, for even advanced user, advanced developer, they are very like promise is something that's very hard to grasp because it's promise. It can like never arrive, never happens. So we need to do something more like magic. Say I'm gonna do for example, I'm gonna call it A, for example, right? A equal to something like a weight, and then we use promise or. Instead promise or we will put this array. That's some special stuff there, and you will see the difference between I'm gonna console log 2 times, console log genre array for you, and then after that I will like use the syntax await promise on to wait for all the promise to arrive inside our array here, and then I console log 8 for you. So I think we don't have to worry about this. We already have that. We are clear on that. Okay, let's go and send again. So here we see the logs here. The first time we console log is a genre array. The second time we log it, is it's value, an array of values. It's not an array of promise anymore. It's an array of value, so it's different, right? So we use this syntax in order to get all the an array of genres, and then we can do something like this. So here, so my variable naming, my naming is so bad. How do I name it? So on. So for now, just call it A. And we actually will do it inside our model, so we will use a different name. It makes more sense to use. But for now, just take a look at the logic here, the step by step. So now I want to create an object of, for example, cons book. This is what we want to create, right? Cons book equal to await book dot create, right? Inside here we have a couple of keys field here. We have a couple of fields. The first field is going to be title from title here. Title, comma, and genres is going to be what? Which one? What should be in here? Can someone answer that? They are on here. Wait. I will explain when after this object. So Joe is kind of silent for a while. So what should I put in here, Joris? You can guess, or you can like take a look at the code and say, what should I put in here? Hello, Joris. 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 Is it a variable or is it a name you just say? Is it a variable? Do you mean the variable? Right. What should be that? Joris. You mean variable? This one? No, this genre here is an array of strings, and we don't want to put it inside our database at all. We don't want to store those kind of information inside our database. We want to store these, right? We want to store these. So we're working on the embedding approach. So we don't store IDs, we store the real object. So it should be A. Yes, it should be A. Same thing for author. It should be author object, right? And kind of answer is wrong as well. There's no a dot genre, right? So we have a new book and we create it and we await, and then we will return. This one is going to be status, and this one's going to be data equal to book, right? I don't have trying catch here, so I can see where I'm wrong. We will add try catch later. All right, now we can test our route here. I'm gonna add this book into the list, and I will have the author, which is who's Vida, and the genre is, holy shit, what is it? It should be romance and love, right? Let's test it. Bam. All right, so we have love and romance at the genres. We also have the author is Vida Kim, and we have the titles, her first book ever. So everything is fine now. Right? If you take a look at your database, and what? Oh, here. I'm going to close this one. Oh, here, if you take a look at, I think you have to refresh. How do I refresh here? Right. If you look at the books collections, all right, the book that we just created. Inside the array is a object, and that object is the genre, right? Author is lucky. So we successfully create the data. All right, so now we need to improve the code here. These logic, this part from line 10 to line 19, not really line 19, but to line 13, they all belong to the model, right? They all belong to the model. All of these logic belong to the model. So we have to move it into our model here. And we're gonna create something called, it's very useful. It's called a middleware. And this middleware is the library middleware, which is the Mongoose middleware. It's not the Express middleware. It's not application middleware. It's Mongoose middleware, and it's where you can call it hook. So basically, whenever we do something like this, book.create or book.save, Mongoose will allow us to run a middleware before it actually saves the object to the database. So we can call that middleware, and that middleware will run before the saving stage. So it's kind of like do something before saving it. Do something before saving it. It's called middleware, and that middleware is called pre-hook, and that is let's go with this pre-hook. So you can use schema pre. There's a lot of different hook. We will talk about it in the future as well. So for now, we will just use the save hook. So before we save, we will run this. So that hook belongs to the schema. Is it belong to the schema? Yeah. Let's see what I have here. Yeah, it belongs to the schema. So I'm gonna copy, not really copy. Let's say I'm gonna copy this one, and then paste it in here. So the pasting is very important, right? It has to be above where you define the model. So in order for the model to have these hook, so if you paste it below the model, it will not work because your model now doesn't have this logic, right? So the order, the position of the code is very important. So I'm gonna paste the hook here, middleware here. I'm gonna change this one to schema. Why is it toy schema again? It's a schema. Toy schema is an example from the documentation here, right? I'm copy everything from there, paste it in here. And this one is will run before it's actually saving something inside our database. So we can make use of that to do these steps first. Okay, and the function here automatically have something called next. Next is a special function with it's basically it's same as the next here. It's different. These two are different. This next and this next is different, but they kind of do the same thing. It basically you skip to the next function in the chain, right? So basically we have function here. We have something called this, and this is something it's related to object class. So basically this schema is a class, and the class will have this, as you already know from React. We use class by component, right? In class by component, you have something this dot stay, this dot stay. So this is the class itself. So we have something called so here I'm gonna copy all this here, right? And then I'm gonna just leave them here so that I can work with later. I'm gonna come out of this, and let's remove this line. Cool. So now we can use a different way. Instead of a way to create right away, we can do new book. And then inside there, we have an object like that. Title equal to title, genres. Now we need to change this one to genres, and author is author. Right, so now we will this here. So now this here we have that's kind of stuff. Let's remove this. So now I'm not gonna execute next. I will console log and show you what's the different. Wait, what? Wait, why? So if it's rate, then 12, 13, 14. So we are passing every information here, and we will modify these value inside the hook. So basically, this is the magic. This is where the hard part. We use a middleware. We don't put everything inside the controller. We use a middleware inside our model. Yes. All right. So let's console log. I'm gonna console log this. You should see what it is. Console this, and I'm not gonna call next. So that's it will not like save the new book into our database. It will like our application will freeze right here. So it will freeze right here after console log this. And let's go to the Postman. This concept is very hard to explain and it's hard to grasp, but it's very powerful. So I'm going to create a new book. And my second book ever, the same author with the same genres. Let's see what happened. I'm going to send it. Oh, what the hell? Oh, actually, it just get the book from here, but it doesn't save to our database at all, I guess. Wait, really? Oh, because I haven't do something like this. Await. Sorry, I missed this one step. Await book dot save. Remember the syntax inside in the lecture morning. Puppy dot save. Await puppy dot save, and then then we do something else. So let's go and try again. So for now, inside our database here, there's nothing in here. Try only my first book. I haven't saved the second book yet. Let's go send again. So it's freeze. Everything is freeze right here. It's freeze right here. Our application stopped working because we didn't call the function next. So it stopped right at this line, and you actually can see something here. So what the hell is this? What the hell is this? This is something magic. And inside you have an array of string. Take a look at the array of string here. Genial. This is to explain to answer your questions. So this here, the console log here, everything you see here is from line 16. Line 16. And everything here is the this. The whole thing here become the this. The whole thing here become this. And actually this, you have something more. You have the ID, which is generated by Mongoose.
Hey, Kwa, the thing that I was not really understanding is that when you had asked us about what goes into the title, genres, and author, we had put something different. So for, I think it was genres.
Oh, okay. That was one way of doing the same thing, right?
Okay.
And that way is not recommended because we have everything inside the controller.
Okay. So now that we changed it into the controller, this is the way that it's supposed to be done, right?
Yeah. Okay. And actually, if you follow the MVC design pattern that we mentioned yesterday, every logic that is related to the database should be handled by the model, right? MVC design pattern should be handled by the model. It's not the inside the controller.
Right. Put it in the model. Yeah. Gotcha.
So that's why we move all the logic inside the model right now. The reason why I did it the other way and then I did it another way is because if I do everything like how I'm doing now, you will like, what the fuck? Really? It's very hard to get it the first time. So that's why I do it in two different ways. And okay, so now you have the disk, which is all the information that we put in here. You have the title, which is a string, second book. If it's too small, I can make it bigger. No, it's too big now. Sorry. All right, you have a genre arrays, which is exactly the same that what we send here, right? Exactly the same. Sorry, exactly the same. Everything is the same except we have the ID, which is generated by Mongoose. So Mongoose does this. Okay, so now we have all the information here. We can do all of these steps inside our middleware right here. And it's actually a better practice, right? So let's do it. All right, I don't need to console log this anymore because we already know what this is. We already know what it is. What the hell? All right, so we want to do something like this. Can you give me 1 minute to type? Yes. Right. So let's take a look. I still keep the logic here. I still keep logic here to put it in here. I don't want to type everything again. So I'm coming out. Done. All right. In the lab, in the lab instructions, I try to avoid confusion, so I did it I did the correct way right away, like right off the bat. So you may find a little bit confusing, but in the demo, I try to explain how I came up with that. Right. Right. Okay. What did you do? The dating? Then delete. What's the date? Date what? Oh, that's a copy from the documentation. I copy it from here, so we don't need that. I just show you like where I got that from. It's not out. It doesn't come out from nowhere. It's from the documentations. All right. Okay. Are you done, Daniel? All right. Okay. I cannot see your face, guys. Only see Khan, Daniel, and Bitna, and I know that Wing and Young and Huntai is following, but I don't know about the rest. For example, Sang, when I ask him, he doesn't like respond. Joris does. Bảo sometimes. Right, I think Wing was the one that's typing. Right, next step, we want to do all of these three logics, two logic. This is one, and this is the second one. We want to do it inside the hook here, the middleware here. And the copy and paste cons author object equal to await author file by the author here. So we don't have author here. We will have this dot author, this dot author, right? This dot author. So it's not author anymore. It's this dot author. Make sense? One. Okay. Next, I'm gonna copy this. Oh man, I should stop saying this. Genre array equal genres, and there's no genre. There should be only this or genres, right? This genre dot map, and we have all of this, and we need this. Actually, we need this. So I'm gonna cons genre equal to require. We need to import the genre model here, guys, because we try to call it, so we have to import it. And genre. Okay. File by ID element. So I will try to stay away from this, and we will do something like this. This just cons that. And next step, I'm gonna cons. So here, copy and paste, allow copy and paste. Instead of assigning A, I can do something like this dot genres equal to the new array, right? So we override the author, the genres here. It's not an array of string anymore. It's an array of, yes, good question. It's an array of objects now. So author, the same with author, we should change to this dot author. Yes, Hưng Nguyễn. So we need to change it to these stuff, right? Cool. And now, lastly, connects, I guess. Lastly, connects. Oh shit, something wrong. Await author by ID is not usable inside. Okay, we need to use async here. Right. Wait, what? Yeah, it's that. So we use async. So we can change the ID to the data. We change the ID to the. No, we don't change any ID. We only change the field here. So this dot genre, the genre here will become an array of objects, and this dot author will become the new object, which we got it from author file ID, right? So yeah, but it's one ID. Yes, it was an ID. Now it become an object. It's not an ID anymore. So this dot author become an object. Yeah. To the data. Oh yeah. All right, you're right. All right. Then we can call next, right? Then we can call next. So next means Mongoose will execute this save function. Right. We can test it right now. See what happened. Open postman. Wait, did I save it? Okay, I save it here. I save it here. Right. I save everything and then test it. I'm gonna, if you take a look at the database right now, there's no second book, right? There's only the first book from Pt2. Now we're gonna add the second book, her second book ever. I'm gonna send it. All right, there's something wrong then. Take a look at the error. Unhandled promise reject warning. Author is not defined. Yeah, of course. I forgot to import author. Copy and paste, man. Allow copy and paste error. Yes. Go back to the code. Import it. Author. This one to be author as well. Save it. Right. Cool. Now we can test. Before we test, let's check our database. There shouldn't be the second book, right? Fine. Right now we send a new request. Okay, done. Successful. Create a new book. Right, we achieve the same results. Cool. Now we can find the second book here. You can see. You should see the. Oh, what the hell? What the hell? So why do we see the books here, but it's not inside the database? Do I have to do anything? What? That's magic? What the hell? Why do I have to like refresh the database by clicking this button? You can just run the file. Yeah, whatever. So we have the second book right here. Let's add the third book from Pt2. Her third book. Where is it? So her third book. And let's say I'm not going to use the this genre. Okay, I'm going to send. Right. You have the third book, and all right. Yeah. So you have to like double click on this, and then you find no. Open in a new tab. Oh shit. That's so bad. That's a bad UI, a UX, right? It's not user friendly at all. Okay, now you see the third book. So that proves that our code works. So now we can go back and take a look what the hell happened in here. So now you can remove these two lines. So now your controller looks a lot like shorter. It looks a lot shorter, cleaner, right? The step is very clear. You create a new book and then you save that book to the database. That's it. And everything that related to the database is handled by the middleware here inside our model. Right. Does that make any sense to you? kind of, yes. That makes sense here. So there's a lot going on about the middleware. Mongoose middleware is kind of complicated, but for this safe hook, it's okay. I think we can use it right now, and we will explore more complicated middleware in the future. So what does the promise do again? So this line, you mean this line? Basically, if we don't have this line here, this variable here you will see an array of promise. It's not pending forever. Actually, it's an array of promise. And the promise means like it's just a promise. In English, it's a promise. It can arrive or not arrive depending on the one who promised, right? And depending on his decisions. So in order to make his decision come true, we have to use await, right? to execute. So we use await to tell it, okay, execute that. And it doesn't, like a promise doesn't always return a value. It can also return an error. So it can be the value in here, it can be errors, and sometimes we have to handle the errors. It just stay there and wait until you use await. Here it's not it doesn't work like that. Await have one more functionality. It's like execute this promise, execute the promise. If you have await here, so you will have an array of promise. It's a very hard concept. A promise, a JavaScript promise is an English promise that will deliver something, right? So it can either be a successful value or it can either be an error. We don't know yet until we execute it, right? Until we execute it. So using await here means, okay, execute everything and then assign this to these genres. Mongoose always return promise. Yeah, it's not just about Mongoose. I think it's about all the other stuff. For example, promise only exists in JavaScript, but yeah, even if you use other ODM or ORM, they also return promise. And if you remember something called fetch here, right? Fetch here also return a promise, right? That's why you have async and await fetch. So these functions return promise. Can you put away on line 19? Wait, line 19 and then this. No, it doesn't work like that. If you want to promise everything, like promise all means like you have to wait for all of the element inside the array to be executed to return a value inside of promise. You have to use promise.all, and here's an array. Cool. All right. So basically, using this way, you can you can call 20 API at the same time, right? So if you do fetch A, await fetch A, and then do something, and then await fetch B, and then do something, await fetch C, and do something. Like if you do it 20 times, it will wait until you execute one by one, right? If you use promise all, it will kind of like fetching 20 fetch at the same time. And it's like it's kind of the multi-thread, but it's very easy to use compared to other languages. So it will fetch like 20 items at the same time, and if everything arrives safely, it will execute the next line of code. So that this promise here is it's the power of JavaScript. So any other questions? So here, if you pass this step, this function here, it means you successfully completed the milestone number 7. Not really. Yeah. You only create, but you haven't used update. So in order to update, you will have something called file. It can be file by ID and update. File by ID and update also execute the also call the middleware self. It's still called the middleware self. So let me take a look. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Okay. File by ID and updates also wait. Oh, I don't think it does, but let's test it. You can have file. You can do something like this. In the lab, I actually explained it a lot. So Mongoose doesn't support the rehook for file by ID and update or file one and update. I don't know why, but that's just how they decided. And you have to, if you use it, you have to follow the rules. That's it. So you have to do something different, a little bit different. You have to define the book by using file by ID, and then you have to manually change the value inside the object. It's clear. It's the very last snippet inside the lab. So I think you can understand it by yourself. It makes sense to me at all. Okay. Another big note here. Where is it? All right, you need to connect. Remember to connect. That's the first note. The second note here is that you cannot use arrow function here. You cannot use arrow function here. If you use arrow function here, you will lose this. You will not have this. So like here, if you use something like next, then arrow function, you will not have this, and it will throw error. Let's see. Postman, I'm gonna add the for book. See, arrow right away. Right. Cannot read property of property map of undefined. It doesn't understand genres. That means this dot genre is undefined, and this dot genre is undefined means this, it doesn't understand this at all. So that's why we cannot use arrow function here. We have to use the traditional way to define a function. Right. That's another big note. Right. Let's test again. My 4th book ever. All right, that works. There's a lot of things going on today. I think I demo enough for you guys, and I hope I explained enough. All right. Any other question? Wait, what? It's a map. It's undefined, so we know it's because of the error. No, actually, map of undefined. Say map drop. It say don't drop any words, right? Take a look. Cannot read property map of undefined, meaning this dot genre is undefined. And why this dot genre is undefined? Because this is undefined, or this is an empty object. It doesn't understand this. So if you use an arrow function, the this will become the this of the function itself. So it's a different this. Shit. So how to say? Let's go. I will open the Explorer here and open the console log. Let's say function testing, and then console log this. Oh my god. Then close the function and then testing. We have to call testing. All right, so you have something called this, but this here is a what the hell? What is this? Oh, this here is the disk of the whole browser. So the browser also have this, and the disk here is the disk of the browser. Right? If you use arrow function, it's very hard. It's not this. So basically, the disk should belong to the class itself. So if I have if something belong to object OOP, which means object-oriented programming, which is not the main thing that we will learn here. But what if I say class HighSierra, right? Yes. I just want to hit enter. Oh my god, cannot do it here. So this console, we have a method called say testing. Method testing. Inside the method, we will console log this, and we call it and close again. Okay. What? Oh, we don't need this. Okay, now I'm gonna call ss and dot testing function. Actually, it's not says testing in our function. Wait, what? I think I need one more step. I don't use OOP a lot though. Okay, it's undefined. So we need a constructor. I actually have a file that explains a lot about this stuff. So I will send you the file. So just remember to not use arrow function in schema read. You will see in the future. You will see cases that you can use arrow function. I will tell you when. You will see. But for now, remember, because the schema here, remember the schema here is an object, right? It's an object, and you can take a look at here. Schema here is an object, and in order to use this of the object means you have to use the function, the normal function. You cannot use the arrow function. All right, so that's it. I'm gonna say this is the object, the class, or you can call it the class schema. Here, the class schema here, the whole class. All right, any other questions? Bum, bum. Bum, bum. All right, just to complete the lab, and you will see why why you will run into a lot of problems today. I expect. Yes, I have to solve it. All right, sorry. All right, I'm gonna end the meeting here so I can upload a video. You can ask questions on Discord. See you guys.